And I went through my own mental checklist of how up I am and how many things I would have to change just to get an opportunity to try out for something like that. So I got laughed at a lot, but in this process was actually hardening my mind. All the laughter, because the laughter used to make me cower. Now I realize that I can no longer hide from my insecurities.
And just remember that the voice in your head is not you. The fear you're generating is not you. Hi, my name's Joe and I'm here to inspire you every single day in your career, in your business and in your life. So today we have got a lesson from the amazing David Goggins. So over to you, David, right over here. And if you want more inspiration, please don't forget to subscribe to my newsletter. The description is in the link below.
So every day of my life, I'm haunted by my father, the kids that bullied me, my own insecurities. All these things were just roosting in the back of my head. So I'd be driving home at like 7 o'clock in the morning from an all-night shift and all alone in my truck, and I'd be thinking, what the man, my life is hell. So one day I came home, and I always come home and watch TV, and this show was on with like Navy SEALs.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid of the water. I sink like a rock. So I'm sitting there watching these guys going through Navy SEAL training, and I'm like, and I saw what I believed how a man should feel, very have pride and dignity in himself.
Yeah.
So like I gotta change myself. So literally I sat down on the couch and watching these guys going through SEAL training, and I went through my own mental checklist of how up I am and how many things I would have to change just to get an opportunity to try out for something like that. Have to get smarter, have to get fit, have to lose weight, have to do all these things, start running, swimming, everything. So I finally get to a point where I get the courage to go to a recruiter and say, hey, I want to go try to do this. But when you're 297 pounds and you want to go try to be one of the fittest people in the world, you get laughed at. So I got laughed at a lot. But in this process was actually hardening my mind. All the laughter, because the laughter used to make me cower. Now I realize that I can no longer hide from my insecurities, hide from all these fears. I had to start wearing them.
Yeah.
Had to start talking about them. Had to start being vulnerable because I was always afraid of them. So here I am now. I'm facing them. I finally find a recruiter that says, hey, we'll take you in. And he says, you have less than 3 months to lose 106 pounds. I'm like, that's possible. So that was my mindset. But I was like, hey, I can't have that kind of mindset. So I went to the dungeon and started using all my insecurities as strength. Instead of looking at being bullied and my dad messing me up and all that stuff like that, I looked at it as, who could have survived all this and still be here with the opportunity to go into Navy SEAL training? And so I started using all these negative things and started flipping everything on top of his head. Instead of saying, woe is me, kicking rocks, head down in the dirt, I started saying, there's not a on the planet who would have this opportunity coming from where I came from. They would be a statistic.
Yeah.
So I started looking at it as power versus like big time defeat. And slowly but surely, every day, I started changing the voice in my head, because the most important conversation you will ever have is the one you have with yourself.
Yeah.
So I slowly started changing that internal dialogue in my head. And there wasn't no like teacher, there was no shrink, there was no mom saying, hey, David, you can do it. No, it was me. And that was where the power came from. The power came from, no one's helping me. No one's coming back to save me. No one's coming back to pull me to the finish line. This is on you. So I saw a lot of power in the fact that if I change this around, I did this. I changed this around.
I really love this video. It talks about fear. Fear is a thing that stops us. It stops us being the person we want to become, right? It stops us becoming. It stops us from being the true version of ourselves. So for me, this was a massive thing, right? I just wanted to stay safe. I wanted to stay comfortable. I'm still in a corporate job at the minute, and I'm moving towards moving into different areas, trying different things, you know, and eventually I don't know whether I'm going to stay in a corporate job or I'm going to go and, you know, and continue on this journey. Where my passion is, and just thinking about this now, my passion is recording content for you to feel inspired. And in my corporate job, we're really fortunate because I can, you know, I am talking to people, I am coaching people, I am training people. But really, I love creating content. I want to impact even more people. And this is a really big, scary, hairy goal for me. And David Goggins is the ultimate inspiring person to push through those difficult things. In fact, I've got the book. This is the book I've read. It's an amazing book. Go get it because it is absolutely inspiring. Where he came from, where he's going to. It wasn't always an easy journey. And for me, the fear has always stopped me. And when I was, you know, when I was a young child playing football, for instance, you know, I'd be playing football and, you know, I was pretty good. I was fast. I could go down the wing, and, you know, I'd have it. There was a talent, definitely a talent there. But what happened when I started getting good, and people started going, "Oh, it's really good. You know, Noya, you're really good." I was scared of that. I got scared. And so I just wanted to be like everybody else. I just wanted to be, I didn't want to be singled out. And I think it's one of these things where we get conditioned. We get conditioned when we're younger to, hey, don't stand out, don't be different, right? Just fit in. Don't speak up. Just sit there and just live that life. Just pipe down. No, this is the no piece you need to say, and this is which I realised a lot earlier. I wish someone had this conversation with me. And David is inspiring because he did this himself. I didn't have that. You know, throughout my life, you know, I struggled with that, and the people around me as well. You know, the friends that I had. Although we're friends, and when you're like, you're a child, you link up with friends and you sort of link up with families. You don't really have any control over, you know, who is around you, right? And I had a friend who was amazing, absolutely amazing. They were, you know, their talent was great, right? And we always had a competition around, you know, playing football and stuff like that, and it's where it goes back to. But there's another side, there's a darker side to it. And the darker side is you'll never be good enough. You'll never be good enough, Joe. You'll never make it. You haven't got it. And that was a constant, you know, drilling into my mind about these things. And I wasn't aware that I was letting it in, because when you're a child, you just don't, right? You just don't recognise that you're letting that in. And I remember once, you know, I was at his house and he was telling me all these things about you'll never make it, sort of want to go to this next step. It was under 18, so it's like the next step up. So it's probably about 16, 17, and we could step up and go to this next level. So I was scared anyway, and then having that conversation just undermined my confidence. I remember going to the bathroom and I remember crying, sitting in that bathroom crying my eyes out, because it went to my core. I felt, you know, I just think maybe I'm not good enough. And I was accepting the label, accepting what someone was saying to me. And this is why it's important that this builds up our fears, right? This stops us from doing things. And so I didn't do it. I gave up. I didn't feel like I enjoyed it anymore. And so that ended. And who knows what might have happened. In fact, it's great that didn't happen, because I'm speaking to you right now, right? I'm now learning that lesson, I'm bringing it here. And people who like with David, right? These are inspiring people, and I've always looked at that piece around where is an inspiring person to lead you through, right? So what about later? So later in my life, you know, I went going for my corporate job, you know, went through depression. If you go back to episode 1 of the Inspiration Nation podcast, you can catch it. InspirationNation.org.uk. The description is in the link below in the video. Just go and listen to that. Also did another video, anxiety, depression, Eckhart Tolle, that's the one. Again, go catch the playlists in the channel. But I went through depression, and a lot of that was blocked because of self-doubt and all those sort of things when I was a child, like building up, and then I'm taking those stories, right? I'm taking those stories and they're coming to my adulthood. And I don't know what to do with them. I'm not aware of them, because you're just going through it, and you've got to be careful of the voice in your head. Remember David in that clip, right? He said it's about the voice in your head. And we did about a podcast episode about that. Go to InspirationNation.org.uk. There's another one about the voice in your head. It's a brilliant episode. But again, it's such an important thing. We talk to ourselves all the time. And there's two facets to this. There's one where you don't realise it's happening, and you think you are the voice in your head, right? You think you are that voice. You're not good enough. What are people going to say? You know, you'll never make it, right? And then there's this other side where you can watch that. you can be aware of what you're saying, and then you can change it. You can change the script. And this is something I hadn't learned. And the only way I learned that was through my depression. I recognised that that was the voice. I thought I was the voice, and you're not the voice. That voice is just your mind. And I've heard Tony Robbins talk about it, that our minds have been evolving over thousands of years, and it's just the programming that it is. And we have to recognise that that's our brain trying to keep us safe, trying to make us not step out, right? And when I was going through my depression stage, and if you go and listen to that episode, there's parts in it when I would just take myself off to the bathroom and just sit literally in a cubicle and just crawl on the floor like this and talk to myself. You're not good enough. What are you doing here? It's like they're constantly beating myself up, constantly saying I'm not good enough. Of course, what happened? I wasn't. And I was just thinking, got to the point of thinking, what's this all for? What's life about? I don't want to live a life where I'm doing this, where I'm living like this. So it got to the point where I had to go see a doctor, and the rest is history. I had some counselling, but the thing that really got me through it is by really getting aware about what you're saying to yourself. Acknowledging what you're feeling and starting to flip the switch. And that's why coaching was so powerful for me. This is what really helped me. Now, I'm not going to a different level like David Goggins. I'm not going to go to Navy SEAL training and put myself in order, but we all have our challenges, right? And they're all different levels for us, okay? So David's one is, putting himself with a physical challenge. I do my morning routine where I do my press-ups and I want to be uncomfortable, take a cold shower because I want to get uncomfortable, right? And that's what he's talking about. The more you can do the uncomfortable things, the more you can lean into your fear, the more you can really challenge yourself, because it's always you against you, right? It's not me against David, it's not you against your colleagues, it's not anybody. It's you against you. And another person I really look up to is Sylvester Stallone and Rocky, right? Talks about you against you. You against you. It is, right? It's you versus your voice. Which one is going to be the most powerful? Is it the negative voice? Is it the negative voice that's going to win the day? Or is it the awareness that you have about the voice that's going to win the day? Which one are you going to feed the most? So let me give you a tip about how I do this, and this may work for you. It's a powerful thing. It's journaling. Like every day I'm programming my mind. So program my mind around how I want to be. I am happy. I'm happy. I'm enthusiastic. I am saying to myself every day, I am going to feed the voice that's the positivity, right? Because we can default to negativity. So what is it? So every day I am happy. I am enthusiastic. I am at peace. I am healthy. I am wealthy. All these things, just keep saying them over and over, repeating, because you brainwashed yourself into fear, right? So that means if you can brainwash yourself into fear, you can brainwash yourself out of fear. And this comes from the routines you have. So mine's the journaling, mine's the meditation now. I never used to have this, and now I've got it in. It's much more powerful, right? Much more powerful. And going through the journaling, going through the morning routines, going through all these things and continually doing it and watching content that's brainwashing my mind to think in the positive and look at what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for here, for having this opportunity to speak to you, and I'm grateful to you for taking the time to watch this, right? And all this is gaining traction. So another thing that came to all this to pass, this is why we've got the podcast, this is why we've got these videos going, this is why we've got the channel going, and this is why I'm working Mark Drager, because I pushed through fear. I'd never believed that I would be connecting with some really big hitting people, but it's because I reached out, right? I'll put you out to Mark Drager, go We Do Hard Things podcast, I'm helping him do his community there. I've linked in with Simon Squibb as well, multi-millionaire in the UK, lives in London. And I did that because I pushed past my fear. My brain was telling me no, 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 no. And I said yes, 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 yes. So as Simon said before, and as David is saying, we've got to use fear as that signal. We lean into it, we challenge it, and it's us against us, right? It's us against ourselves. And I want this video to support you in that journey, to remember and to remind yourself that you can lean into fear and you can win when you lean into fear. You don't want to go to the end of your life and think, I'm living with regret because I didn't do it. So one exercise I'm going to ask you to take away is, actually two. One is to get your morning routine sorted, whether it's like mine, which I've just said. And two, it's just to really think about how you can lean into fear and many more. When you get that fear, go and do it. How could you do that? Use this video. So the second thing is to come back, rewind this video, and just remember that the voice in your head is not you. The fear you're generating is not you. It's your mind. What you have to do is understand that you are not your mind, that you can control this. This here is an amazing piece of kit. If you start to switch it and you start to control it, things become more powerful. This is why this channel exists. So I'm speaking to you. If I didn't do this, I'd be just staying where I was. I'd be in depression. I wouldn't be out of it. I wouldn't have taken any action to get out of it, right? Because a lot of the stuff we do is because we don't take action. We think and think and think and think, and I did that a lot. I thought about doing this channel. I thought about, would I do? When we follow our hearts, we can actually move on. We can actually move on with our lives and live the best version of our lives. So guys, I want you to know what is your single biggest takeaway from this video. I want you to put it in the description below and hashtag it with InspirationNation, because it's important that you take something away and work on it so you can get to your next level. Thank you so much for getting to the end of this video and watching. It really means a lot to me. So don't forget, we have coaching services. Don't forget to go to inspirationnation.org.uk. The link is in the description below. All the information you need is going to be there. Fill in the form and we will contact you. So I hope you enjoyed that video. It's all about leaning into your fears. So don't forget, you can catch all my other videos right over here, and that will give you daily inspiration. So come back, keep watching, and don't forget to subscribe and also hit the bell, because that will tell you when another video goes live. So you've been watching Inspiration Nation, and I'll see you right over there.